Hello everyone, this is Cindy Simon. Welcome to a brand new series that we're experimenting here on Game Show Gumbo. It is called 26 Weeks or Less. And an explanation is as follows. These are reviews for really short-lived shows that only lasted 130 episodes or less. If they were a daytime show or if they were a syndicated show. But if they are weekly, then 26 episodes is the magic number or less. Ergo, 26 weeks or less. Cable-wise, it's the same as daytime or, syndicated, stuff like that. So, for the first show, I want to go back to the year 1976 and talk about a trailblazer in the TV industry, and her name is Lin Bolen. The first female to be an executive vice president of programming for NBC in 1972. She was responsible for Wheel of Fortune. She was responsible for expanding soap operas to an hour. She did a lot of stuff for daytime TV. She left her position in 1976 to start her own production company. And one of the shows that she had in her production company was a short-lived game show called Stumpers.
You can follow the clue and say the name, you'll win the game and the chance to win $20,000. And now here's Dick Codier and his partner Gail Denton. And Robert Reed and his teammate Maury Tuma, all here to play Stumpers.
Stumpers was a word game that debuted on October 4th, 1976 on NBC, taking over the 11:30 a.m. time slot from Hollywood Squares. Hosted by Alan Lunn, two teams comprised of a celebrity and a contestant try to stump their opponents by giving them clues to a famous person, place, or thing. It's a simple premise, kind of like Password or Pyramid, but with a neat twist. Before I get into the gameplay or Alan Lunn himself, I have to give credit to the set designer. Even though the set is quite small, it's also got a great sense of scope and looks really large, especially the Stumpers screen. The screen that had the logo on it. The set expansion to where the set goes from for its normal position to the big money ladder for the bonus round is amazing. And I'm stunned how good a set can look if the effort is really put into it. Now, as you know, you need a really good host to make a show go, and if you got a word game, there are a couple of ways you can go with it, but you just can't go wrong with Alan Lunn.
And here's the host of Stumpers, Alan Lunn.
Hi. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We decided we're going to wind up this year all dressed up and happy and beautiful.
After relaxing at his home since Password was canceled for a second time and doing some acting, namely in the movie Eastworld as the host of The Big Bundle, Alan Lunn returns to do his usual good job when it comes to word games. What's also helped is that he already had a good rapport with the celebs, as a lot of them had played with him on Password. So if you loved Alan on Password, you're going to love him on Stumpers, and I loved him on Stumpers. So you got a good set and a good host. Now, do we have a really good game to go along with it? If you've seen Password played before, then you'll pick up Stumpers pretty quickly. In round one member of a team is shown 3 clues to a given person, place, or thing. That team has to pick one of them to give to one of their opponents. If they can guess the subject correctly on the first clue, it's worth 15 points. If it takes 2 clues, it's worth 10 points. If it takes all 3 clues, then it's worth 5 points. If the giving team can sneak all 3 clue words past the opposing team, they get a guess, and a successful guess is worth 15 points. This process repeats until all players have had 2 turns giving and 2 turns receiving. I like this format. It combines good aspects of Password and a soon-to-be-debuting Double Dare of the Beat the Spoilers endgame. I guess it's because I have a soft spot for the original Password and Password Plus, but to me it just felt like a solid front game. Round 2 is played pretty much the same, but both teammates play together for 2 last subjects. This time, however, the points are doubled. After the last 2 subjects, the team that's ahead wins the game and plays Super Stumpers for $10,000. Another thing I liked about this show is that it just flows. It's something that I sorely miss in newer game shows. There's no wasted motion, and the game is easy to understand. The bonus game is similar, but this time the celebrity is trying to get the contestant to solve 10 Stumpers in 60 seconds. The celeb is shown 3 words and must give the best clue word to the contestant. Each correct solve is worth $100, and getting all 10 words is worth $10,000. The celeb can't give a second word or third word unless the contestant says the word clue. If they do, the stumper is thrown out and they can't win the grand prize because they could only solve 9 or 8 or whatever. This rule is essential because without that rule, the endgame could be really stupid easy. saying all 3 words in a row without any breaks with the word clue, and a good player can win the big money in about 30 to 40 seconds. A contestant stays on until they are defeated, or they win the Super Stumpers twice to get the grand prize of $20,000. To summarize, it was a good show to me, although you could easily tell that this show heavily lifted from both Password and Pyramid, and honestly didn't make much of an effort to disguise the fact. The set and outline might be the best things about the whole experience, so if a decent game behind it, it should have had a decent run on NBC. So what exactly did happen with Stumpers? Well, scheduling. At 11:30 a.m. it was made to face off against Love of Life on CBS and Happy Days reruns on ABC. Now, to shed some light, you know how big The Big Bang Theory was as one of the top-rated sitcoms? Happy Days is right around that level, and you need to get a good rating right away to survive against Love of Life and Happy Days reruns, and unfortunately, Stumpers just didn't get that, and so it was canceled at the end of 1976. In 1977, another show would take its place in the form of Shoot for the Stars, starring Jeff Edwards. It's a Bob Stewart joint, and it is quite an interesting one. You will not be seeing it on here because it lasted about 8 months. Well, that's going to do it for this debut edition of 26 Weeks or Less. I hope you do enjoy this video. And if you have any suggestions for future shows that you would like for us to review for 26 Weeks or Less, put them in the comment section below, or support us via Patreon at patreon.com/GameShowGumbo. I'm Cindy Sadamo, and until next time, bye-bye!